Hello friends, today we will have a look at the Marg Payroll software. Firstly, we will briefly discuss about Marg Payroll software, how it basically works. Payroll system is an integral part of an organization. From Marg Payroll, you can maintain the employee's PF, ESIC details, TDS details, etc. Not only this, it also takes care of your salary calculation, leave management, etc. You can generate all types of MIS reports and can also maintain all sorts of records. Now I would like to tell you about importance of Marg Payroll and also how it would be beneficial for your organization. As I previously told you that you can maintain the employee's ESI, PF details, but in this, modules like attendance and leaves can also be calculated automatically. You can manage all the above tasks in one single click in this software. All of these statutory compliances like PF, ESI and TDS returns can be submitted on the portal in just one single click. You can have the proper documentation of the employee from Marg Payroll software. In Marg Payroll software, you can maintain multi-year, multi-location and multi-company records. Despite all these, you can also have user-level boundation in this software. It is the most advantageous feature as it protects your data from an unauthorized access. Now let's have a look at some of the features of Marg Payroll software. You can import the attendance from biometric machine or from Excel sheet. You can provide the SMS intimation to your employee regarding the attendance and salary details before finalizing the salary. Following are the basic modules that you will find in this software. You can have the leave management through this software, can calculate salary of an employee, PF, ESIC and professional tax calculation is also there, overtime calculation of the employee. You can also send salary slip of the employee onto the mail through this software. Through this software, you can generate ETDS returns also. Bonus management is another module to be discussed. Area calculation and area slips can also be generated through this software. Tax projection details of each employee can be calculated through this software. After leaving the organization, the full settlement record of employee can also be maintained. Reports from HRD modules like appointment letter, offer letter, promotional letter, etc. can also be generated. User level foundation for secured access is also available. In Marg Payroll software, we can also set notifications regarding birthdays, anniversaries, anniversary of the employee, joining anniversaries, etc. Now let us have a look at the workflow of the Marg Payroll software. As you can see the whole workflow of the Marg Payroll on your screen. Now you can see there are following modules like company master. In this you have to create your company first. All of the details like company's name, address, phone number, ESI, PF account number, etc. is to be filled. Next is grade master. Here you need to make the grade of the employee, like in which grade the employee falls. For example, whether he or she is in grade A or in grade B. Leave setup. Next option is leave setup. You will prepare the leave setup for the same. Means what types of leaves your organization provides or availed to the employees. Income and deduction heads. Various income and deduction heads need to be mentioned in this option. Income heads, for example, basic, HRA, DNS allowance and conveyance is to be mentioned. Deduction heads, for example, PF, ESI, TDS, etc. are to be mentioned. Branch master. In this option, you need to make the branch of your organization. For example, your organization are having branches in Mumbai, Calcutta, Delhi, etc. So through this option, you can make the branches of your organization in Marg Payroll software. Division master. This option is basically for setting up the divisions. For example, in Delhi branch, we may have one division in Pratapnagar, one in Rohini and other in Karol Bagh. So we will be able to make divisions through this software. Category master. Now as we do have hierarchy in the organization. So through this option, we categorize each and every employee through this hierarchy. For example, according to hierarchy, we have placed our employee who is an executive as number 1 and then CEO of the organization as the number 12. So in this way, we can maintain the category master in Marg Payroll software. Department master. As we know that each and every organization have various departments like IT, marketing, HR, accounts, etc. So we can maintain all of these departments in Marg Payroll software. Designation master. Various designations of employees like executive, developer, senior developer, director, president, vice president, etc. All these designations can be maintained in this software. Bank master. In this, you will make the bank master, means we can maintain the bank details from which we provide salaries to employee. Reporting master. Now each and every employee of the organization has reporting to a senior person. So in this master, we can maintain the reporting of each and every employee. For example, all of the executives in the organization reports to HODs. This software maintains the whole reporting of employees. Employee master. Now, when we get over with all these above masters, the employee master will automatically gets activated. In this, we maintain the whole information regarding the employee, like his address details, organization details, salary structure, family and nominee details. All these details are to be saved in this employee master through this software. Now, let's move on to the demonstration of this software.
Now, when you click on to the Marg Payroll software, a window with username and password will appear in front of you. You have to put the username as admin and password also as admin. Now you can see here appears a window where you can see 4 options: Start Marg Payroll, Computer Exception Code, Surrender and Re-Registered. Now when I enter into the Start Marg Payroll, you can see that here is a list of companies. When I click one of the company as a right click, then I get few options like Marg Gateway, File Maintenance, Backup of Data, Restore Data from Backup, Create New Company, Delete an Existing Company. Now Marg Gateway is basically to enter into the Marg Payroll software. File Maintenance, through File Maintenance, we can index the files in the software whenever the software misbehaves. From Backup of Data, you can take the backup of the data due to the security reasons. You can restore the data also, and you can create a new company, and you can delete an existing company. Now when I enter into the Marg Gateway, here appears a notification window of all those employees who have their birthdays in the current month. Now pressing escape will take you to the main panel of the software. Here you can see Marg Pay menu and the shortcut buttons on the right. Marg Pay menu consists of these options: Masters, Data Entry, Reports, HRD modules, TDS, Tools and Admin Tools.
Now let's move on to the masters. First is the company information. Here we will fill all the company details. Like, as you can see, you have to enter the name of the company, address of the company, city, pin code, state, telephone number, and all. The company is in which financial year you can mention over here. You can also enter company's registration number, license number, PF registration number, and ESI registration number if you deduct PF and ESI of your employee. And you can save all these details. Now coming on to the EPF and ESI details, you can mention all the EPF and ESI details you deduct of employees over here. Whether how much share is for the employee and how much share is for the employer, you can mention over here in these details and save it. Now coming on to the miscellaneous details, you can put weekly off on a day your office is closed. You can put company logo over here, default attendance. What default attendance you want to improvise for your employee, you can do that also. Attendance database, it is important. If you have biometric system in your organization, then you can have that attendance report on your desktop. Marg Payroll software can import that report by just defining the path of the report over here. In the same way, you will fill all the other details as you can see it. Now, as we have already discussed in workflow that we have to create all the masters before doing the working, so we will now create grade master. For grade, you have to mention all the grades in which the employee falls. Like over here, we have 3 grades in our grade master: grade D, grade B, grade C. You can select one grade and save it. You can also add other grades like this. Now save it. Next master is leave setup. Here you can create the whole setup for leaves. Like in my organization, we have casual leave, earned leave, sick leave, maternity leave, and restricted leave. Here I mentioned that my CL is calculated in this organization. I get 1 leave per month, and if this leave is carry forward or lapse, that too can be selected from this. If you want more leaves, then you can mention below over here. Afterward, just save all this information and your leave setup is ready. Next master is income and deduction heads. In this, we will set all the income and deduction heads. For this, you have to select grade first. Now you have to enter all the working hours over here, at what time first half starts and at what time second half starts. Next is the overtime formula. You can also put overtime formula over here if you provide overtime to your employees. Now, as you can see, here are various income heads and deduction heads. You can add or delete all the income heads or deduction heads from this panel and save it. Here are other miscellaneous income heads and deduction heads that you can mention in this software. Now save this information and your income and deductions heads are ready. Next master is the branch master. If you have branches in more than one location, then you can create other branches also, like in Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chandigarh, etc. Now next master is the division master. You can create the divisions. The division master and branch master are basically interrelated. You can mention various divisions over here. For example, in New Delhi, you have various divisions like in Pratapnagar, Pulbangash, Rohini, Saket, etc. So you can mention divisions over here. Next master is the category master. In category master, the category of the employee is to be mentioned, like your employee falls in category 1 and CEO at 12, then you can mention over here. Next master is the department master. As you can see, I have created various departments in the department master, like accounts, HR and IT. You can select whatever the department you want to choose and save it. Next master is the designation master. If you want to create the designation, then you can mention over here, like whether the employee is a manager, software engineer or software manager, and save it. In designation master, you can also set the category. The significance of this is at which category the designation falls. Next is the bank master. In the bank master, you can provide all the details of the bank through which you give the salary to the employee, and you can save these information. Next is the reporting master. Now employee reports to which HOD or to which person, that you can mention over here. Next is the currency setup. You can mention various currencies over here. Next is if you want to create a new financial year, that you also can mention. From masters, you can also create the new financial year. Now next module is the data entry. Now from here, your master menu is completed. Now, as soon as you will be over with all the masters, your employee master will automatically gets activated. Now here you can see you have to enter the employee's personal information. organization information, documents, salary structure, previous employer, and family and nominee details. Now coming on to the personal information, you have to enter the employee name, gender, blood group, educational qualification, marital status, father's name, city, state, etc. Now coming on to the organization details, you have to enter employee code, punch card number, employee type, whether it is a new employee or transferred employee, joining date, branch, department, division, grade. You can also add other department by pressing on to the add button over here. You can also enter EPF number, ESIC number for the same. If the employee has been left the organization, then you can add the date of leaving with the reason and remarks. Whatever the leaves are to be applicable to the employee, you can enter that also over here. Now coming on to the documents, whatever the documents has been submitted by the employee, you can scan it and can save it in this window. Coming on to the salary structure, you can also enter all the salary details. As you can see here, the two columns, earning details and the deduction details. Earning details have imported the income heads from the software. According to this, the gross salary will be calculated. And in deduction details, you can see it has imported the deduction heads. This is the employee side of part, and this is the employer's contribution. Whatever the deduction amount is here, you can mention over here. Whatever the net salary amount is, you can mention over here. Monthly CTC can also mention over here. The employer's contribution will automatically gets added to the monthly CTC. You can also enter the bank details over here. Now, coming on to the previous employer, you can also enter the details of the previous employer where the employee has already worked. Coming on to the family and nominee details, here you can enter the family and nominee details to whom employee has chosen for the EPF and ESI deductions, and then you save the entries. The percentage of PF of the nominee you can mention over here, percentage of ESI what have been deducted you can mention over here, percentage of gratuity towards the nominee you can enter over here. Then after entering all these information, you can save these information and your employee master has been created. Now our master menu is complete, and now we will be moving towards the data entry module. Firstly, in the data entry module, here is the attendance entry module. Attendance entry can be imported in 4 ways. First is the import or modify attendance from biometric machine, import attendance from Excel. Third is the muster roll attendance and the manual attendance. We will be taking these one by one. First is import modify attendance from machine. In this basically you have to enter the date first, then selecting the grade. When you press the show button, it will ask you whether the attendance detail not present for this month wish to add the details. You have to press yes and it will import all the details. As you can see over here, employee code is being mentioned over here, employee name is there. On Monday 2nd June of 2014 he was present, he timed in at 9:53 and timed out at 21:12, and accordingly on other days he was present, like on 3rd June 2014 he has been timed in 9:54 and timed out as 21:26. So in this way you can import the attendance from the biometric machine. You can also edit the attendance by pressing the F10 key. For example, you can edit all of the details. Now moving on further, in the attendance entry is the import attendance from Excel. You can also import the attendance from Excel. Here is a specific Excel sheet format through which you can import the attendance. Here is that default attendance format that you can use to import the attendance from Excel. As you can see over here, you can mention the employee code, present, weekly off, holidays, on duty, absent, unpaid, casual leave, earned leave, sick leave, maternity leave, restricted leave availed, extra working if he has done, compensation of earned, compensation of availed. So this is the attendance format for the Excel. You can just browse the file name through which you have imported the attendance and it will import the attendance automatically into the software. Moving on to the next function is the muster roll attendance. Now if you have lesser number of employees, then you can directly mark the attendance in the software. Here you mention the month and grade, and when you press the show button, it will show the attendance of the particular employee. For example, the employee code is 1007, employee name. On 1st/4/2014 he was present, so you can mark him as a present. You can have other options also, whether he was on duty, leave, or and various other options. You can also see the status of the leaves over here. So this was the muster roll attendance module. Now moving on to the further, we are having the manual attendance. If you are maintaining or updating the attendance in Excel sheet or in register, and at the end of the month or at the time of the salary making, you upload the attendance in the software. So here you can select the month, grade, and when you press the show button, it will show you the manual attendance format. You can mark the attendance manually over here. You can have the code, employee name, days present, how many days he was present, on duty, weekly off, holidays, compensation earned, working, payable. So each and every detail can be mentioned over here. To change the attendance also, you can press F10 over here and you can edit the attendance of the employee. Moving on further, in the attendance entry, we have leave entry employee. If you want to give leave to the employee, the window with leave entry detail will appear in front of you. Just enter the name of the employee. For example, I have taken Anurag Singh. Now mentioning the date, and when you press the OK button, it will show you the status of the leaves he has taken. As you can see over here, there's casual leaves. 3 casual leaves are remaining. There are no ELs, no SLs, no MLs. So this is the status of the employee's leave. You can mention the leave type, you can mention the person who has approved it, and you can mention the reason, and you can provide the leave to the employee through this software. Now next in the attendance entry is the missing punch entry. You can see over here that miss punch entry details have been appeared in front of you. For example, I have been selecting this employee Alok Das Gupta. It will ask you whether you want to continue or not. Then you have to put the date the mispunch has been happened. It will show you the time in and time out punch, as it is showing that punch missing during the timeout. So you can enter the time over here. And now when you change the time, you press the done button and attendance being saved. So this was the missing punch detail module. Moving on further is the salary calculation. If you have uploaded the salary of whole month and you want to check it, then click on salary calculation. A window will open in front of you. Now here you have to mention the month for which you want to check the salary, then providing the grade, pressing the show button. It will show you the whole salary calculation details like the employee code, employee name, gross salary provided by you, total deductions have been done, what was the salary payable, and payment mode also. You can also fill the check number and the name of the bank through which you have paid the salary to the employee. In salary calculation, you can modify the salary also. You just need to press F10 over here. As you can see, salary detail window has been appeared in front of you. You can see all the earnings and deduction details. Earnings as basic, HRA, conveyance, and deductions PF and ESIC. Whatever the advance you want to edit, you can edit over here. Overtime rate, overtime hours, overtime amount, mobile expense, each and everything detail can be edited by you from this window. Further, you can save these details and your salary calculation has been saved. Now moving on further, we will look into the expense import Excel. You can also import the expenses. Just select the grade and month and the file name. You can import the expense sheet. Here we will also provide you the specific expense import sheet. In that format, you will be able to import the expense easily. This is basically the expense import sheet. As you can see over here, you can just mention the employee code and you can mention the expenses that he has undergone. Now moving on further, we will move on to the salary summary. Now you paid the salary to employee. Now you want to check how much HRA basic conveyance you have paid. That summary you can check in salary summary option. Here you can see the bifurcation is according to the income and deduction heads. You can enter the month, grade, and when you press the show button, it will show you the earnings and deduction heads with their figures. As you can see over here, you can get the details of how much deduction you have done, how much net payable you have paid, moreover, how much overtime you have provided to your staff. Through cash, how many employees have been paid. Through check, how many employees have been paid. Through bank transfer, how many employees have been paid. Once you enter the date of the payment, you cannot alter the salary summary again. The next option in the data entry is the salary summary. Now you paid the salary to employee. Now you want to check how much HRA basic conveyance you have paid. That summary you can check in the salary summary option. Here you can see that bifurcation is according to the income and deduction heads. You can select the month, grade, and then when you press the show button, it will bring all the figures that you have paid. how much basic you have paid, how much HRA you have paid, how much conveyance you have paid, how much deductions you have done, whether for PF, whether for ESIC, whether for the mobile expenses, how much total deduction have been done, how much net payable you have paid, how many employees have withdrawn the overtime, how many employees have been paid through cash, through check, through bank transfer, through others. You can see all the details over here. Once you enter the date of the payment, you cannot enter or alter the monthly salary summary. Now next is the overtime entry. If you pay overtime to any employee, you can check the overtime also for the same. Next is the arrears entry. If the salary structure of any employee has been changed. Now moving on further, you can also check the arrears entry. If you have paid arrears or the salary structure of any employee has been changed and you are paying arrear to any person, then you can check the arrear entry through this software. For this you have to just select the month, grade, and then when you press the show button, it will show you the entries. For example, here you can see the employee code, employee name, from which period to which period you have paid the arrear, date of the payment, basic, HRA, conveyance, all other details like special allowance, total earned, total deductions you have done, and net payable salary. So you can see all of the details over here. Now moving on further, you can also see the bonus payment. Here you can also maintain the bonus provided to your employee. For this you have to activate the bonus setup from HRD modules. From here you can also set the bonus details of the employee. Next is the leave setup. You can set the leave. Next is the bonus payment. Here you can also maintain the bonus provided to your employee. For this you have to activate the bonus setup from HRD modules. You can see you have to mention the grade over here. Then when you press the show button, you can see the employees to whom you have paid the bonus. From which period to which period the bonus have been paid, how much percentage of bonus have been paid, how much was the amount. Now moving on further is the leave setup employee. You can set the leave setup that to grade wise. You can edit all the leaves provided to the employee. If any CL or EL opening is there, then you can edit that too. You can also update CL and ELs monthly wise and can save it. Moving on further are the Provident Fund forms. If you provide PF to the employee, you can update that also in these forms. As you can see, here are forms like Employee ECR, form number 12A, form number 5, form number 10, and PF Challan. In ECR, the details of PF that is being deducted will appear in front of you, that too month wise. As you can see over here, all of the employees to whom you have deducted the PF are mentioned over here. EPF wages, EPS wages, EPS contribution due date. So each and every information will be updated over here. You can also generate the return from here. You can also generate the Excel sheet return from here and get it printed also. You can also submit it to the portal. Moving on further is the form number 12A. In this form, also you can enter the PF details, how much PF is being provided to the employee month wise. From here also you can generate the Excel and e-returns in order to submit to the portal. Moving on further is the form number 5. If any new joinee has joined your organization in current month, then to maintain his details on the PF portal, this form is being issued. Just enter the month and you will be able to see the whole list of employees who are new joinee and how much PF and ESI is started deducting from which month to which month. As you can see, date of joining EPF. Moving on to the next Provident Fund forms. Form number 5. If any new joinee has joined your organization in current month, then to maintain his details on the PF portal, this form is being issued. Just enter the month and pressing the show button, you will be able to see all of the employees who falls under this form. Employee name, father name, gender, date of joining EPF, date of joining EPS, address details, city, district, state, all of these details can be mentioned over here. And you can generate the Excel sheet and e-return for the same. Now next is the form number 10. It is same as form number 5. Just the difference is that it will generate the list of those employees who have left the organization. Now moving on further, in the Provident Fund forms is the form number 10. It is same as the form number 5, but it will show the employees who have left the organization. Moving on further, in the Provident Fund forms is the form number 10. This form is also same as the form number 5. Just the difference is that it will generate the list of those employees who has left the organization. Now moving on further, in the Provident Fund form is the PF Challan. You can also get the details of the PF Challan. Here you just enter the month. It will show the PF Challan in Excel format. You just need to press the display button over here, and when you press it, it will show the PF Challan form like this. Now moving on further are the ESIC forms. From here you can get the statement. It will show you the list of employees, total days they have worked. You just need to mention the month. When you press the show button, it will show the employee name, total days worked, gross wages, last working day, and the reason of leaving. You can also generate the Excel for the same, and you can also submit this form on the ESI portal. Moving on further are the TDS deposit distribution. We will create the challan first. For TDS of employees, you need to mention the quarter. When you press the show button, it will show you the details like TDS amount, education cess, interest amount, other amount, total amount, check DD number, challan date, and BSR code. You can also edit the other details. The challan that is being prepared quarterly have been saved over here. Now next option is the tax distribution in employees. The tax that you distribute to employee, you can maintain that also. You need to mention the quarter over here as same you have mentioned in the challan. Now you press the show button. It will show you all of the challan details, like how much was the TDS amount, how much was the education cess, and other amounts, employee name, period, taxable salary, date of payment, TDS amount, surcharge, cess amount, total tax deducted, tax deposit, and date of deduction. Now last is the final settlement of the employee. This is basically the module when the employee will left the organization. You can maintain all of his details over here. Like you can mention the employee name, department he was working in, date of joining, last working day, notice date, reason of resignation, gross salary, other deductions, date of leaving, duration of service, notice given by, the notice has been given by whether employer or employee, reason, description, leave encashment. So all of these details can be mentioned over here, and you can save all the details of the employee in the final settlement of the employee. And by this, we are over with the data entry module. Now moving on further, we need to look onto the reports menu. Various credentials that we will discuss in the report menu will be monthly reports, miscellaneous reports, HR reports, employee reports, attendance reports, and master reports. First of all, we will look into the monthly reports. What all monthly reports that this software is availing? Basically, first is the attendance register detail. When you click onto the attendance register detail, an attendance register detailed window appear in front of you. You just need to mention month, grade, branch, department, and when you click onto the display button, you will get the full attendance detail of each employee with employee code, designation, and department. You can see the summary of working and leaves also. Day-wise attendance details will also be appear in front of you. Moving on further is the attendance register summary. You can get the summary of complete attendance report, on which day he took the short leave and other leaves. You can get the information of attendance of employee in a summarized form. You just need to fill out again month and year, grade, branch, department, and when you press on to the display button, you will get the full summary of the attendance details. Like with code, name, designation, and department, you will be able to see what all leaves he had availed, whether he was on duty, he was on sick leave, he was on casual leave. You will be able to see each and every detail. What all total leaves he had availed, total payable days, what were the total payable days also will be mentioned in these details. Next is the form number 26 muster roll. It will generate muster roll report from the software. You can submit it on the PF portal also. Just fill month, grade, branch, department, and when you press on to the display button, you will get the full muster roll report. You can see over here like employee name, father name, sex, and designation will be mentioned in this report. Summary of working leaves will be mentioned in this report. Working hours, time of commencement of work, rest period, whatever the details will be mentioned in this report. Moving on further is the salary slip view. You can also get the view of the salary slip. Just mention the month and year, grade, branch, department, and when you press on the show button, it will show you a list of employees. If you want to see the salary slip of all the employees, you can select all. And if you want to select a specific employee, you can select the specific employee. And when you click onto the display button, it will show you the salary slip like this. You can see all the details like employee details, working details, leave details, earnings, deductions, payment mode, gross earnings, less deductions, net salary payable. Each and everything will be mentioned in this salary slip. You will also get the logo of your company also. Now moving on further is the salary slip email. You can also send salary slip on email. It will bring list of employees in front of you. When you mention the month, year, grade, branch, department, and when you press on the show button, you can select all. If you want to send the email to all employees, you want to select a specific employee, you can select the specific employee and press the send button, and email will go to that specific employee. Moving on further is the salary register. It will generate the salary register of the employee. You need to mention the grade, month, select the branch, select the department, and when you press on the display button, it will show you the whole format of the salary register. You can see over here the employee details are mentioning over here with code, with designation, with branch. Working details of employee will be mentioned over here. Income details, deduction details, salary, what salary has been payable to him, what was his income heads like basic, HRA, conveyance will be mentioned in amount. Whatever his deductions like PF and ESIC will be mentioned over here. Now next will be salary payment mode wise. You can get the salary slip in payment mode wise as you provide salaries to some employee through cash, check or bank transfer. So you need to just select the month, grade, branch and mode of the payment. Like whether you have paid him through cash, check or bank transfer, you have to select that. And when you press on the display button, it will bring you the information of those employees to whom you have paid the salary through cash. You can do the signature and can get the details of salary register also. And you can get this in printed form also. You can also have the printed checks from this software. Moving on further is the overtime report. You can also generate overtime report if you have paid overtime to your employees. Next is the area report. You can also generate areas report if you have paid the area to your employee. Moving on further is the PF register. You can also have the PF report, how much PF has been deducted, that will also be shown in this report. You can also see the contribution of employee and employer, just mentioning the month and year. For example, I am taking over here April month, grade, branch, department, and then pressing the display button will show you the whole PF deduction details of each and every employee. You can see over here like employee PF number, employee code, name, department and designation will be mentioned over here. What were the payable days? What is the gross salary? EPF and EPS wages. Employee contribution, as I already discussed with you, employee contribution 12%, employer contribution, whatever the employee contribution was deducted, it will be mentioned over here. Moving on further is the ESIC register. You can also get the ESI report. How much ESI to be deducted, that will also be shown in this report. You can see the employee and employer contribution over here. Same just like PF. The format is the same according to the ESI also. Pressing the display button will show you the whole information. You can see employee contribution, employer contribution and total amount payable over here. Now moving on further is the professional tax register. If you also deduct professional tax that is being levied by the state government, this basically tax varies from state to state. You can also get the professional tax register report from this software. If you want to file the return for the professional tax, you can do the same from this software. Now moving on further is the miscellaneous reports. First is the holiday list. You can have the report of holidays that you already define for the organization. For holiday list creation, you can browse into the HRD modules and go to the holidays list. You need to create one. You can create the holidays over here. If you want to add new holidays, you can just add the new holidays from this button. If you want to edit it, you can edit from this button, or delete it, you can delete this from this button. So when you create it, if you want to see the report now, you can go to the miscellaneous report, just press the holidays list and you have to select the period for which you need to see the holidays report, and when you press the display button, it will show you the holidays of that period. Moving on further is the bonus report. If you have provided bonus to your employee, then you can generate the bonus report also. Just select the grade. It will show you according to the employee code, employee name and department. When you press the display button, it will show you the bonus report, to which employees you have provided the bonus, and total bonus amount will be mentioned over here. Moving on further is the income CTC report. You can also get the income CTC report, how much payable salary employee is getting, that you can also get from this report. Just mention the grade, branch, whether you want this report type as detailed or summarized. It's according to you. If you want to see all reports, all department reports, then you can select all. If you want to see the specific department, then you can select that department and press the display button. So it will show you the specific departments, cost to company, that is CTC, enhanced salary and number of employees. So you can get the whole information regarding the CTC over here. Moving on further is the salary heads report. What are the various salary heads that your organization is having, mentioning the grade and period, and when you press the display button, will show you all of the salary heads that your organization is having. Moving on further are the HR reports like offer letter, appointment letter, confirmation letter, promotion letter, relieving letter and experience letter. All these letters can be created in HRD modules, that is in employee reports, and you can take print of all these letters from this software. Now moving on further are the employee reports. You can have all the reports related to employee like employee master. You can select the employee name, just press the display and you will get the employee details like what is his code, name, father's name, department, branch, date of joining, grade, date of birth, designation, division, confirmation, professional qualification, what all earnings and deductions we are providing to him will be mentioned in this. What is his total CTC will also be mentioned over here. Moving on further In employee reports is the employee master, multiple. You need to just mention the grade, just mention the joining date, and you can generate the Excel sheet of it. As you can see, it is preparing the Excel sheet for all the employees. You can see that this Excel sheet has been generated. You can see as here are employee code, employee name, father name, contact number, city, branch, department, designation. Each and every miscellaneous detail will be mentioned over here. Income details, deduction details, gross salary will also be mentioned over here. Now moving on, next in the employee reports is the employee list. If you want to see the list of employees, then you can just enter the time period, from which time period to which time period you want to see the employee list. Selecting the grade, branch, department, and pressing the display button will show you the whole detailed list of employees. You can see over here that employee code, name, father's name, designation, and department being mentioned over here. Address of the employee, date of joining, PF account number, ESIC account number, date of birth, blood group, bank name and account number, date of leaving, net salary payable. Moving further in the employee reports are the left employee list. This is the list of those employees who have left the organization. Pressing the display button will show you the left employee list. Like as you can see here, employee name Varun Singh has been left the organization. Department and designation being mentioned over here. Date of joining, date of leaving, and how much duration he has served the organization. You can see over here. Next in the employee reports are the employee list gender wise. You can see the list of employees according to the gender. Next is the monthly attendance detail. You can get the attendance detail monthly. Just enter the month, grade, branch, and department, and pressing the show button will show you the list of employees. If you want to see the report of all employees, you can select the all button. If you want to see specific employee report, then you can select that specific employee, and pressing the display will show you the attendance detail monthly wise. As you can see on which date, on which weekday he has punched time in, punched time out, total working hours he served the organization, early arrival, late arrival, early departure, late departure, attendance status, and overtime hours will be mentioned and updated in this report. Next in the employee reports is the employee leave card. You can select the time period, grade, branch, department, and when you press the show button, if you want to select all, or you want to see all of the employees leave card, you can select all. If you want to see specific employees leave card, you can just select the specific employee and you can press the display button. It will show you the specific employees leave. You can see over here how many days he have worked, how many days he was on duty, weekly off, holidays, what is the status of his CL, EL, SL, unpaid, absent, extra days, total payable days. Each and every detail will be mentioned in the employee leave card report. Moving on further is the yearly leave detail. You can also see the leave detail yearly wise, just mentioning the period from which year to which year you want to see the attendance, mentioning the grade, branch, department, and it will prepare the report in front of you. As you can see over here, how many CLs and ELs he have availed, earned, balanced, opening, heads, each and everything will be mentioned in this report. Now the employee reports has been completed. Now moving on further in reports, we will see the attendance reports. In attendance report, first is the daily present report. If you want to see the daily present report, you just press the daily present report button, mentioning the date over here. Now mentioning the punch time, whether you want to see for the time in, time out, or for both. I'm selecting over here time in. You can see this report according to the employee code, employee name, and in time. Now pressing the display button will show you the report that according to the time in. So you can see as Anurag Singh from the department IT has timed in at this particular day. Moving on further is the daily absent report. Just like as the daily present, you can also see the daily absent report, mentioning the date, sorting on employee code, employee name, and department. I have chosen the employee code. Pressing the display button will show you the detail of daily absent report, as Naman Singh was absent on this particular day and he's from this department. Now moving on further in the attendance report is the late coming report. Going on to the late coming report, mentioning the date over here, sorting the report according to your own convenience, whether it is in the employee code, employee name, department. Pressing the display button will show you that report, who all employees have been coming late. As you can see, employee name, accounts department, and punch time. So you can get the late coming report from this software. Next is in the attendance report will be the missing punch report. Same as the procedure for this. You need to mention the date. Pressing the display button will show you the missing punch report. As I have taken example from one April 2014 to 30th April 2014, I want to see the report who have been mispunched. All these employees have mispunched during these days. So you can see the date, time in, time out, and attendance rate. Now moving on further in the attendance report is the multi-day absent report. If the employee has been absent for multi-days, you can mention the time period over here. Pressing the display button will show you the report. As you can see, absenteeism report from this date to this date. You can see the employee name, department, date, time in, time out, and attendance status. Now lastly is the leave register. You need to mention the time period, grade, branch, department, and then selecting the leave, whether it is casual leave, earned leave, short leave, or compensatory off. For example, I am selecting the casual leave and pressing the display button. It will show you the leave register for the period April 2014 to May 2014. You can see over here, according to the employee code, according to the employee name, designation, leave description will be there: opening, earned, availed, and closing. You can see as in Anurag Singh, designation of the software engineer, availing the casual leave, opening is 0 but earned is 1 and closing status is 1. So now last but not the least is the master report. You can get the report master wise also. As previously we have created so many masters, so you can get the report master wise. If you want to see what all departments we are having in the organization, for that you can generate the report and you can print it. Pressing the display button will show you the departments that your organization is having. As I am having accounts, HR, and IT department. Now moving on further are the HRD modules. As you can see, here are various options like employee reports, holiday list, bonus setup, professional tax slab, EPF and ISI setup, and send SMS. Now first of all we will see employee reports. What all reports can be generated from this software. First is the application process. When you click onto the application process, an application form will appear in front of you. This form is basically for the applicant who has joined now. The applicant who has recently joined the organization, all the details have to be filled over here. Like what is the applicant name, father name, date of birth, address, education qualification, email ID, contact number, mobile number, post applied for, work experience, last salary, and expected salary. Now moving on further, now you have to create the offer letter for this applicant. You click onto the offer letter. As you can see, the whole information of that new joinee has been imported by the software on this offer letter form. Applicant name, father name, education qualification, contact number, experience, post applied for, and salary expected. Now you have to further fill the details like when the candidate has been interviewed, who was the interviewee, post offered for, what was the salary offered, what was the branch where the interview held, and what is the location that you are providing him, what is the reporting date and time. Now you save this and your offer letter can be generated. You can also print this by just clicking on to the print. You need to fill the details like offer letter date, place of reporting, signatory name, designation. Again click onto the print and it will create the offer letter. For example, this is the whole format of the offer letter that is being generated by the software. Now moving on further is the appointment letter. As you can see, you have to fill all the details like applicant name, father name, reference number, signatory name, signatory designation, grade, generation date, probation period, notice period. Now two heads, what is basically his salary, what are basically his earning heads, and what are basically his deduction heads, that can be edited over here. Like what will be his basic, what will be his HRA, what will be his conveyance and bonus. You can enter over here and the gross salary will be calculated. What will be the deductions, that can be entered over here, and that can too be printed as an appointment letter. This is the format of the appointment letter that is being generated by the software. Now next is the confirmation letter. This is basically the confirmation letter. As you can see, here will be the employee name, reference name, father name, grade, designation, appointment date, signatory name, signatory designation. That too can be printed by the software. Next is the confirmation letter. Here you can see the employee name, reference number, father name, grade, designation, appointment date, signatory name. That too can be printed by the software. Moving on further, you can also generate the promotion letter from this software. Like if any employee has been promoted in your organization, then you can generate that promotion letter from the software. You can provide the employee name, department name, current designation, new designation, signatory name, signatory designation, effective date, and report date. Next is the relieving letter. If any employee is being leaving the organization, that too can be printed. You have to just enter the reference number, employee name, father name, designation, department, signatory name, signatory designation, resignation date. What will be his resignation date? What will be his relieving date? At what date he will be leaving the organization? Reporting date. So this will be the relieving letter. Next is the experience letter. Experience letter can also be generated by this software. You just need to enter reference number, employee name, father name, designation, department, signatory name, resignation date, date of joining and reporting date, and you can through to the experience letter. Moving on further into the HRD module is the holiday list setup. You can also create the holiday list setup in the software. Just select the month from which you want to create the holiday setup. If your holidays vary in the organization from state to state, then you can select the branch over here. Just press the show button and it will show you format in which you can add the holidays. Like from add new button, you can add the holidays from here. You can just enter the date and the occasion and the new holiday has been created. Next option is the bonus setup. You can do the bonus setup from here. Just select the grade, whatever the grade you've been selected. What is the date, from which date to date you will be providing the bonus. Bonus to be calculated as basic or onto the gross. What was his total gross salary? Bonus not applicable if amount exceeds maximum amount on which bonus will be applied. Maximum bonus amount to be given. How much maximum bonus amount can be given to the employee, and bonus percentage. How much bonus percentage to be given. Next is the professional tax slab. You just need to enter the financial year over here. Now here you enter the financial year and you have to select the state. Now the concept over here is the tax, professional tax varies from state to state. So you can select the state and you can enter the tax slab on which the tax will be levied. So through this format, now in this format you can enter the slabs. If you want to add a new slab, you can enter the new slab by this add new slab button. Next feature in the HRD module is the professional tax slab. You can just enter the financial year over here. Now this professional tax basically varies from state to state. Like in Delhi, it is different, it is being different. And in Bihar and Kolkata it is being different. So you can add various tax slabs in this software. Now you just select the state in which professional tax is being levied on. You just press the show button and it will show you the whole format. You can see over here, like from 0 to 25,000 salary, no tax has been levied. From 25 to this much salary, that 84 rupees has been levied. So according to this slab, you can make changes in the professional tax slab. You can also add new slab from this add new slab button. You can save it and you are through to the professional tax slab. Moving on to the further is the EPF and ESIC setup. This setup is basically for the changed EPF and ESIC details. Like previously we have the EPF and ESIC details as like for the 6,500 rupees salary or up till 6,500 or more than 6,500 rupees salary, the EPF and ESIC has been deducted. But now it has been changed to rupees 15,000. So you can enter the whole EPF and ESIC details of the employee and employer both over here. Moving on, next is the send SMS option. Whatever the SMS setup you have been done previously, you can send SMS from this window now. You can just select the message type, whether it is for the attendance detail or for the missing punch or for the absent mark. You can just enter the message type over here. Now period, grade, branch, department, and when you press the show button, it will show you the list of employees to whom you want to send the message. You can select the employee and can send the message. Now moving on to the TDS module, we are having various features like tax slab rates, exemption and deduction, tax projection details, miscellaneous TDS details, form number 16, form number 24Q, and eTDS return. Now we will be taking one by one. First of all, there is its tax slab rates. As you click on tax slab rates, a window will appear in front of you. You need to enter the financial year over here. Then pressing show button will automatically activate the tax slab rates. On pressing edit button, you can edit all the tax slab rates, various tax slab rates, for example, female, male, and senior citizens. You can save it and you are through to the tax slab rates. Next feature is exemption and deduction. This is also the financial year based exemption and deduction details. You need to enter the financial year first, then choosing the grade, and pressing the show button will activate various windows. Like first of all, there will be an income heads and there will be the deduction heads. Whatever the exemption to be given on which income head or deduction head can be defined over here. These can be modified and we can do the settings accordingly. You can modify through this modify button and you can put all the details of deduction or exemptions and you can save this. Moving on further is the tax projection details. These details are also according to the financial year. Select the grade then press show button. It will import all the details of employee regarding the tax projection. It will also show you how much tax needed to be deducted of each and every employee. So you can save these details. Now moving on further is the miscellaneous TDS details. These are the miscellaneous TDS details that are to be submitted on the income tax portal. According to this only, TDS of employee will be deducted. So you can see over here that what will be the miscellaneous details like name of the person responsible for deduction of tax, designation of the person, father's name, mobile number, city, pin code, address of the company as per requirement of TDS return. Whatever will be the TDS address can be mentioned over here. Address of the responsible person above will be given the information over here. You can edit it by edit button and save it, and you are through to the miscellaneous details. Moving on further is the form number 16. Basically, this is the window of the form number 16. You can see various information like name, department, designation, grade, code number. This is also submitted yearly on the income tax portal. You can generate the form number 16 from your software. Moving on further is the form number 24Q. This form has to be submitted quarterly, and you can view this format. You can see all the details quarterly over here. These are the quarterly details that can be generated by the form number 24Q. Now, next option is the ETDS return. When you click on the ETDS return, you will see a window will appear in front of you. This has to be filled quarterly only. You can enter the name of the person who will be filling this ETDS return. The amount to be deposited is mentioned over here. Total tax deposited, total tax deducted, amount paid, and total deducted records. So each and every information will be updated over here, ETDS return. Now, when you save this, you can prepare this ETDS return. A file will be generated. You have to save it with other name. For example, now you can see that return have been saved successfully. A file will be generated on your desktop, and you can see this is the format of the ETDS return. So through this software you can also generate the ETDS return. So this was the whole part of the TDS return. Now moving on further, we will be discussing the tools module. As you can see, here are various options like change user, change password, error checking, change background, button settings, and calculator. We will take one by one. Now coming on to the change user. To change the user, you have to create one. To create one, you need to go to the admin tools and go to the option create new user. Click on the create new user, and a create new user window will appear in front of you. You have to put admin password. Now here is a provision that admin can only create new user, but the user can be changed by any other person. So you have to enter the admin password, username, password for the user, and just press OK. It will ask you wish to save changes, and the changes have been saved successfully. Now user has been created. Now to change the user, you will go to tools again and will select the change user window. Change user window will appear in front of you. You have to just put username over here, enter the password over here, and just press OK. You will see your user will be switched as Rotansh over here. Now I am switching again to the admin. Now moving on further, you can also change the password of the particular user. For that, you just need to enter the username, old password, new password, and re-enter the password again. You will be able to change the password successfully. Now moving on to the next feature is the error checking. Whenever a software misbehaves or there will be any technical discrepancy, for example, power gets off, then you have to use this error checking in the software. Next option is the change background. You can also change the background of this software. For example, you have to remove the background image first. Now coming back to the change background, it will take you to the location from where you want to import the picture of the background. For example, took this as my picture. Now here you can see here are some options like clip, isometric, and stretch. These are basically the different configurations of the background image. Now I select stretch as the configuration and press OK. It will change the background immediately as a stretch configuration. The next option is the button settings. You can also change the button settings that is being shown on the right hand side of the software. These button settings is changed where basically it is your convenience, how frequent you use these buttons. You don't need to enter into the module over here like masters in data entry or reports or HRD modules. Whatever the button has been used frequently, you can just put these buttons over here or edit these buttons also. Just like here, just go to the edit button and you can use, for example, I want to edit the first button. I will choose category master as my button to be frequently used. So I save it over here, and now information has been saved successfully, and when you will get out of this, you will see category master will be appearing at the top of the button. So this was the button setting. Now moving on further is the calculator. You can also use the calculator in this software. Now moving on further, we will see how admin tools work in the Marg Payroll software. Now here you can see list of features like list of users, create new users, privileges and permissions, email setup, SMS setup, biometric machine setup, and check printing setup. So we will take one by one now. Now first of all is the list of users. You will go to the list of users and you can view all the list of users that you have entered. Now moving further, you can create new user as we discussed previously also. You can create new user from here. Only admin can create the user, but the changing power can be to the other person. Now here is the next option, that is privileges and permissions. Whatever the rights or privileges and permissions to be given to the user can be set by the admin panel. Here you have to select the user first. For example, I have selected Ashish as my user. Now here are two types of user level permissions. First is entry and reports. Whatever the permissions to be given in reports will be entered as reports. Whatever the permissions to be given as on entry, you have to select entry. Now when you click on the show button, it will show you all the privileges given to the employee. As you can see, here are four options like access, add, edit and delete. If you have given the access to any user to edit the leave master setup, you can give the privileges like add, edit and delete. Whether he can just only add the information, or he can only do the editing part, or he can go for the deletion part also. So you can provide the privileges and permissions according to your own convenience. Now moving on further is the email setup. You can see the email setup window over here. Here you have to enter the SMTP server name that you have been accessing. Next is the port number, sender's name from which the email has been sent, email ID of the sender and password. You will fill out this information and you are through to the email setup. Now you will be able to send emails, the salary slip, as you want to send the salary slip or various other things on email. So you can do this through email setup. Now moving on further is the SMS setup. You choose the SMS setup. Now here you can enter the SMS setup for four details. First of all, here is the attendance details. Second is for the missing punch. Third is for the absent marked. And fourth is for the salary. You can edit this information from here. Now by pressing F1, you will see these are the parameters that the change message format can import from this window, like employee name, current date, salary month, duration, salary processed, attendance details. Now SMS gateway is basically you have to purchase it. Basically it is a paid feature. You have to purchase it. They will provide you the username and password for the same. And when you enter all this information, you will be through to your SMS setup. You can also use the further parameters in the messages like employee name, current date, salary month, duration, salary process and attendance details, and you just save it. Now moving on further is the biometric machine setup. When you click onto the biometric machine setup, a setup window will appear in front of you. You can see here are the three ways through which biometric machine setup is importing its file. First of all, there is a MS Access. Second is the MS Excel. Third is the text file. In MS Access, you have to feed this information like user table name, from which table you are importing the information, employee number or code, unique ID, date and time from which the table has to be imported, unique ID, date, check-in, check-out time. Next is the MS Excel format. You have to provide the number of the column from which it is starting. Second is the date column. Third is the time column. Next is the format of the date. It is being saved in the Excel sheet. From where the record has been started, you have to provide that column number. Format of the date also. Now next is the notepad text format. Same here, you have to fill all the information like employee number, date, time, date format, time format, and then you save this information and your biometric machine setup has been ready. Now moving on further is the check printing setup. Through this software, you can also print the checks that you use for the salary make.